And right out of the gate, this opening theme is fucking fantastic. It's one of the better themes in the classic series, in my opinion. But there's nothing going on here. It's just like the first Mega Man, where there is nothing happening on the title screen. It is a plain-ass title screen. It says the name and your start and your password. That's it. So, you know, added something to it, but still not much going on the title screen. Now, the thing with this game, and I will acknowledge this right out of the gate, is that even though this is my favorite, it's come to my understanding that, and that it was the case before I knew like all the details, but this game was basically put out unfinished. Like, it was a rush job. They had to do what they could for the time being, and hence we got this game. All considered, I think they did a banging job, a great job, but we're gonna dig into it. With what I said the last time, it'd be 2 per stream, but as I said in the intro, given how late it is, and this is the start of mega padding of sorts, which we'll get into, I might not do both tonight, and maybe split these up a little differently, but without too much of a ranty intro, let's get right on into it. Whoops. As soon as I remember what buttons to press. Alright, so you can see right out of the gate, right? 2 things to point out. One, even though this is the Legacy Collection, they did not fix the NES issue of there being just some kind of graphical glitch above Shadow Man. So that's one thing. The stage select theme is great. And I like that Mega Man moves his eyes along with whoever you go to. So that's neat. But that little graphical glitch kind of fucks up the whole thing. From what would otherwise be pretty perfect. So that's two little slight things to point out of the gate with Mega Man 3. That said, we are going to continue the trend, and this is where it's going to get worse and worse. But we're going to continue the trend of somebody feel free to pick who I start with. I'm also sitting today because, truth be told, last night I started feeling a bit under the weather. And I kept going anyway. And my body can't seem to decide throughout the day if I'm going to get sick or not. So I'm sitting, but I didn't want to sit still per se. And Amber's on her way to sleep and I don't want to disturb her. So we're streaming. So that's that. Yeah, I woke up this morning with a headache and feeling run down. The headache's gone away. I don't feel very much run down now, but I'm good enough to do stuff. But just in case, I'm trying to take it easy before I go back to work on Monday. So that's that. So take your pick, because honestly, there are a lot of starting Robot Masters that could be potentially bad for me. A lot of them. One in particular that I already mentioned, which I'm hoping either the memory isn't there or some happy coincidence. Like, I'll try to do it, but vaguely remember Snake Man. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? You know, you don't necessarily had to have played it before. But as we said before, it's kind of hard to pretend that games I've played throughout a good portion of my life that pretend like I haven't played it. But for the sake of reviewing it properly, you know, we're making that attempt. But also treating it as if we've never played it before in the sense of robot selection. So weakness chain on this is completely obtuse. Yeah. Yeah, that's not incorrect. I don't think any of these make any sort of logical sense. There's some that do. But in this game, I don't think... I'm trying to think, like, through the boss order. And yeah, I don't think, like, literally any of these makes logical sense. None of them. Whatsoever. So, you could maybe consider that a negative point, but, like, I don't know. It's just some games get it better than others, I guess. Maybe magnet versus needle. Needle versus snake. One of those is correct. Spoilers. But feel free to make a choice and then watch me suffer accordingly, most likely. Because one hell of a start with Electman for Mega Man 1. Like, holy shit. Also, the tracks that played, Manami Matsune, who did the Cutman theme in Mega Man 1. Her track was played in the beginning, and so was a Mega Man 1 Wily medley of sorts. Was also played. Snake Man looks the dumbest, so he has to be the easiest, right? All right, well, let's go. But yeah. Had I thought this through, I would have swapped up the tracks I played. Like, played yesterday's tracks today, and vice versa. But, you know, we just wing it here from time to time, so... whatever. Snake Man not only probably looks the most ridiculous, I would agree with that, but is also pretty damn ridiculous in the TV series. To which, if you haven't seen the 90s Ruby Spears Mega Man TV series, it is absolutely absurd. It's cheesy, but like in all the right ways. I don't know, I like it. But then again, what 90s TV series wasn't like that to some extent, at least? Even the greats like Batman TAS and X-Men, which now has the revival of sorts because of 97, had a cheese factor going on to it. Now, those two examples are much more serious with that mixed in, but still. Remember playing this level several times? It's, it can be a doozy, that's for sure. So, Snake Man stage. The music's great. Thematically, it's mostly on point. I say mostly because we're about to get to the point where it doesn't make as much sense. Because all this in the air shit, I have no clue what that has to do with Snake Man whatsoever. Like, they nailed it up until this point. But here, it's like, you know, let's just do what we want. Shit does not make sense. Ruh-roh! I fucked up. I knew it as I did it, but, like, it was too late to do anything about it. Fuck! There's a timing to that, and sometimes I just go too fast. Gotta go fast. But yeah, like I was saying before, jumped on stream. Edgelord Shadow and Generations is gonna be great. Definitely looking forward to that. Because for a while, Generations was, in my opinion, the best modern Sonic since, like, I don't know, the Sonic Adventure games. Until Frontiers rolled out. And yeah, there was Colors, but that's 2D. And then Mania, obviously, but that's also 2D. Alright, how many lives do we have? Maybe not enough to do this, but we're going to find out. Take that contact damage, I guess. Did I get any energy canceling up to here? I don't think I did. Fuck. I don't want to take contact damage twice. I'm gonna die. Damn it. Love Shadow and Generations was a very, very solid game. Both true statements. Or, I guess one was technically an opinion, but Shadow's great. Unfortunately, you know, Shadow the Hedgehog was not a great game. Or, I can't technically say that from personal experience, but they gave him a gun, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not playing this shit. Well, that was it. It was SA2. Yeah. Sit in one place, fire over and over, and get hit by the snakes instead of him, and you're good. This is honestly not a starting point for me, but I was mostly confident that I could do this, because I think I've done it before. So, it's an okay pick for starting. It's doable, certainly. It's not the 1 or 2 picks that I usually start with, but it's doable. So kind of want to play more Shadow the Hedgehog just because. I mean, you embrace watching stuff a lot, so like, you could just watch it. You don't have to play it. You don't have to do that to yourself. Although, I don't know. Justice found some fun with Shadow the Hedgehog. I just refuse to touch it. Like, why in the fuck are you giving him a gun? I can't get behind that. I'm sorry. I just can't. It makes no sense. And that's pretty much it. And, you know, he shows up in Sonic Prime, which reminds me, I have a lot of catching up to do in Sonic Prime. I think I only watched the first season, and I think there's like 2 others now. But yeah, not enough Shadow, and this is the supposed like year of the Shadow or whatever the fuck they're doing. So, be awesome. Have a lot of nostalgia for Sonic Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog was basically a worse / more rushed version of Heroes. I'll take your word for it. I didn't play Heroes. Although I think that's one of the Sonic games I watched through you, if I'm not mistaken. Andor was actually part of that stream, I forget. But who's next? Lay it on me. Who's next? So yeah, I'll work on my notes here. So Mega Man 3. Snake beats Tops, Shadows. Alright, we'll pick one. Alright, so Mega Man 3. Title theme, amazing. But black title screen, like Mega Man 1. Stage select great, but graphical glitch by Shadow Man. Eggman stage. Thematically good for first half, not so much the second. Also great theme. Tritops is dumb enough to almost make sense. Alright, fine. We'll do that. Yeah, I think this is the one aspect of things where I'm gonna be like mostly biased, I think, and even like I'm trying to view it objectively, but like I think just the soundtrack for 3 is just, it's got a lot more hits than misses, and I don't think there's very many misses. Shit! That NES lag, though, which, you know, is present in all the games to some extent. So, probably more so than Snake Man stage. I mean, in fairness, I don't know what you're really going to do thematically with someone called Top Man. There's only like a section towards the end of this stage that makes sense with Top Man. Everything else is like, we're just going to throw this random shit in the stage and call it Top Man stage. You got a random cat, because, you know, whatever. Makes total sense. I accidentally hit the rewind button for a second there. Topps baseball cards? There's no cards here either, though. That's pretty good, though. I appreciated that. Fuck. Could you get up there, please? Thank you. Controls. Controls is... I feel like Controls is an unfair category, because, like, Mega Man doesn't ever control bad. He just controls slightly worse in the first game. So, I feel like that's just basically an instant 5 on everything. Here are the tops. And that's it. That's the extent to... you know, something that's thematically correct. But it is a stadium? Is it, though? Like, what is this even? It's random leaves, machinery, fucking construction guys. Like, what even is this? Alright, do snakes work on tops? Nope. 1 damage. However, this guy is one of my 2 picks for starting, so this will be easy. And of course, this game introduced the slide. So there's that. So I suppose I should put that in notes. Slide introduced. And Top Man. Stage mostly makes no sense. And, you know, theme's alright. It's not like the most amazing thing. It's okay. It's okay. Kind of look like stadium lights. Which part? They literally did this, by the way. It was several games later, but they literally did basically a stadium stage with Strike Man. I forget if he's in 9 or 10. I want to say 10. So they did that years later and nailed it. But with this, flashing panels in the boss arena in the first part of the stage. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Never thought of it like that. Alright, who do we got next? Who do we got next? 2 down, 6 to go. Would tops be enough of a drill for Hardman? I don't know, would it? Is that the choice? Hardman? Which, I understand this was like the 90s, I think. And, you know, things aren't as whatever back then, but really? Like that's what y'all came up with? Hardman? Really? Some of this feels really lost in translation. Funny story about that. That's exactly what happened. Like, the plot went completely out the window. Like, there is a plot to this game. But they just left it out, essentially, with the American release. It just didn't come out. Which is a shame, because I feel like it was a decent one. But within current context, you wouldn't know. The only plot you get is like midway through the game, and because nothing was explained, it makes no fucking sense. So, the fact that we decided to keep plot as a category, this probably gets a lower score for that, if I'm being honest. What the? So you get the slide and rush. This is the first game Rush is in as well. Fuck. But then also, how do you describe Hardman's power? Is it a monkeys that fucked up Dan years ago? Good times. I love this theme. And like, not knowing or really understanding what Hardman really is. Just big guy in armored suit. Like, I guess this stage makes sense. Like, rocks are hard. I don't know. The construction guys certainly make more sense in this stage than they do in Top Man stage, where they're just kind of random. It's like a brass knuckle, essentially. It's the weapon is hard knuckle, and it's a very slow-moving fist that you shoot forward. And here is Proto Man that I don't think you technically know of unless you really looked into the ending of the first game. He just randomly appears in this and starts fucking with you from time to time. These guys are the same as the robot pogo guys in the first game. Alright, so, what did you say? Tops for Hardman? Yeah. Top. Let's try it. Huh. Okay, so I don't think I actually hit him with it, but spoiler alert, it's not that. So, here's the thing. And let's start doing weapons, right? Snake is this. Not particularly great. Top has to be one of the worst weapon designs in the classic series, if not the worst. You do this little top spin, which I suppose doesn't use weapon energy unless you actually hit the enemy. But in order to hit with this, you pretty much need to take a hit. So it's actually terrible. And then the damage is inconsistent as well. Because when you hit somebody with it, you don't know if it's going to do a shit ton of damage or very little damage. And what determines that? So far in the weapons category, this game's failing. If I'm being honest. However, Hardman is the second of two picks that I do to start. And Hardman's kind of like Woodman, where you just trade shots. You recognize the basic pattern, and then you just trade shots. And you eventually just win. So that's that. This has worked really well so far, only because Snake wasn't so bad. But now we've gotten rid of the two picks that I would start with. I think when I played this back in the day, I started with Hardman. I later moved on to possibly doing Hardman or Topman. And even Snake is doable, as we've seen here. It's not too bad. So those are gone. 3 out of 5. Or 3 out of 5. 3 out of 8. I can count, I swear. But yeah, it is a very slow-moving projectile that goes in front of you, and you can DI it, directional input it slightly, up or down. But it's very slow, and the control you have over the DI is also very slight. Also, not a great weapon. I'm feeling like this game that I love has not so great weapons, at least thus far. I'm just thinking about it. Like, they're not great. We're gonna see as we play the rest of the game, but like, not great. So, good theme, good stage, in my opinion. Hard beats Needle. All right, let's go to Needle. Now, how you were ever going to make a stage out of needle, I don't know. But they throw in these guys, these little porcupine guys that, if that's even what they are, that shoot needles at you. But other than that, what else really makes sense for needle? I don't think much else. These things too. I forgot about these things. We'll call them needles that just come down and can hit you. Oh shit, I'm on my last life. I should have game overed. Whatever. Too late. Whew! Fuck. They don't really change what they do. They make the same jump every time, so you just gotta time it right. This is not gonna go well. Alright. Hard man. Do it. If I can hit him with it. Although I think I did and it deflected off of him. Fuck! Yep, deflects off of him. No damage whatsoever. Shit, I let him fucking land on me. I'm gonna need an energy can, but we'll get it done. Whoops. Oh my god, why? Pause, please. How do needles deflect an iron knuckle? That's a great question. Sure. I think I just fucked myself on taking a free hit, but whatever. I'm giving him a free hit. Oh, I thought he was gonna jump. What an asshole. Oh, you dick. I'd really rather not use 2 energy cans, but it's looking like I'm gonna need to do that. Ow! Ow, that shit hurt. Fuck you. I'm gonna die. Oh my god. Fuck! What an asshole! Oh god, no! Why? With the not being able to pause at times. That's a problem. Like, certain animations just don't allow you to pause? I don't understand. Like, when he was right in front of my face right there, I couldn't press the pause button. Like, sometimes I have to do multiple presses to have it pause. I don't think that was the case in Mega Man 2. Shit. Oh my god, I took contact damage because it suck. It's the worst kind of damage in, like, all of these games. Oh boy, I just took it again, too. That's not good. Not good, people. Fuck. I'm dead. See ya. Would not recommend this guy without his weakness. And honestly, even with his weakness, it's a bit of a chore to hit him. Specifically because of the weapon that you need to hit him. Oh, fuck. Oh, thank goodness I didn't die there because kind of spammed the button a bit. Whatever. What an asshole. Fucking needles. Ow. I'm dead. Again. Ha! Fuck you, Needle Man. Needles. Whatever, I don't know how you hit me with that. Shit. What a cheater. Fucking contact damage. See ya again. Yeah, you know, I gotta say, not coming here with full health to begin with, not great. Needle me, you fuck! Ow, contact damage, or I think it was contact damage, I don't even know. Shit! What an asshole! Oh my god, hit him! Contact damage, because it sucks. More contact damage. Got him. Yeah, not would highly not recommend starting with Needle Man. Or going to him without his weakness, really. I would not recommend it. Whatever. Alright, so, this game gets a password system. I don't think 2 had that. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of these guys, like, they don't really meet the theme at all, really. It's kind of a shame. Do 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 do. Four out of 8. Who's next? Needle sucked butt. Also, since they're both dead, I'll tell you what you were correct about earlier. Needle Man is good on Snake Man. Hard maybe beats Magnet. Magnet Man is one of my favorite Robot Masters, and the theme is pretty good too. But yeah, Needle's good on Snake. I think this game actually has some bosses that, like, there's multiple things that they're weak against. I like to fuck with Proto Man and do exactly what he does. Just do the same jumping pattern and shoot him from behind. Hey, extra life, because I keep forgetting the game over on purpose. Fuck. Fuck. Oh shit, I don't have Rush Jet, do I? Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I do have Rush Jet. Just JK. We're fine. Everything's fine. Ugh. See, if we can ever find ways to make these parts not as annoying, that's exactly what we do. Like that. Fuck. Whatever, dude. Rush Jet is just OP in this game because you get complete DI over him. Alright, that's all that. Okay, so hard on Magnet. I think I remember exactly how this goes. Meese! That's gonna deflect because you can't hit him with stuff when he does that. Can I hit him? See, look how slow this fucking thing is. I think that hit him before he started doing that, which means it deflects. Which is what I recall, I think, being the case. Oh my god. Oh, it does do damage. It's just jack and shit for damage. This isn't the weakness, obviously. So, nope. Whoever kill me, I don't fucking care, dude. Though I do think this is going to be a harder one to do without a weakness, but we'll see. Actually, it might not be too bad, come to think of it. Because as long as he's not using the other move at all. Alright, cool. Well, that's easy. That's correct. That's correct. That is his weakness. Which, by telling you these, I'm giving you hints and everything, but, you know, we have less and less choices as is. We're getting closer to being done, so. We have 3 left, and at this point... Actually, no. At this point, 2 of the 3 picks we will have weaknesses for. Would have guessed the opposite first. Magnet beats Spark. You see, I can see the logic in that, but, like... This game clearly has no logic when it comes to boss weaknesses. I feel like Gemini beats Shadow, but I don't know what would beat Gemini. Got you. All right. So then, who is the next pick? Is it Gemini? In fact, I'm going to get the plot out of the way now. I'm giving it a 2, just like Mega Man 1. Because it shows up at all, but it makes no sense because it leaves a lot of shit out. Like, there's no way you can possibly know the proper story behind this game. So, the deal, do Spark next, and then maybe Spark meets Gemini? Well, fuck me then. But yeah, so... The whole idea is Wily is, like, good-ish. He actually works together with Dr. Light in this one to make a robot called Gamma, which is supposed to be for, like, construction purposes or some shit. But, of course, Wily, in his usual ways, you know, shit goes wrong, robots go wild. The only thing that they do tell you with no context in the game for the plot drop is Wily runs off with Gamma, so he takes Gamma for himself. And yeah, like that's supposed to be the plot, which would actually be pretty decent, but they literally left out. They left that out entirely. Instead, you just get forced into the middle of that with no context whatsoever. That was a silly mistake. So, plot gets a 2. Easily the worst thing about this game. So now we're getting to weapons that have more of a use, I think. Needle's alright. You know, just straightforward shot. You see what you get. Magnet's great because it has a homing capability. Of sorts. You do use up weapon energy pretty quickly on that one. So that kind of sucks. So we are starting to get to the more useful weapons. Get that NES lag when those concrete blocks fall. I would say Spark doesn't make sense, but, like, it does kind of have a mechanical vibe going on. Provided it's mostly the stuff in the background. But I can dig it. Like, it's fine. It works. Little flashing lights, the mechanical shit. Like, it works. Alright, so let's try hard. Fuck. Jack and shit. Magnet. Deflected. So neither. Oh god, do I have an extra life? I don't think I do. That's a problem. La-di-da, none of this ever happened. I might not be able to go back far enough, which would suck. Okay, we're good. Ow. Whatever. What an asshole. Shit, I'd rather get hit by that than the other thing. Okay. What an asshole. You know what? This isn't so bad. Oh, I ran into him like an idiot. I think I can actually do that, but now I heard you can. He's not so bad. Whatever. Look at all this stuff happen. Fuck. Goddamn fucking contact damage. Oh my god. Okay, this is really bad. Whatever. Oh, what an ass. Fuck you, Sparkman. What an ass. I don't know how you hit me with that. I jumped that shit. Whatever. Get out of here. So yep, needless to say, weaknesses make no sense whatsoever. Mostly misses on your picks on this one, but they make no sense, really. And now, no matter which one we pick, we have the weakness for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick. This theme gets stuck in my head so often at random times. I don't really know how you base something on Gemini, per se. But it's a zodiac sign, I guess. So this kind of, like, spacey feel of sorts, I guess, works for it. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this stage. Oops. Using the controller underneath the desk and I hit it by accident when I was pressing buttons. Fuck! There's a way to jump, like, if you do it on time and actually, like, get straight down there and avoid this part, which is a speedrunning strat, so you don't waste the time with Proto Man coming in. And I was holding left that whole time, but it didn't fucking matter, so whatever. I can get that, though, can't I? There has to be a way. I could use some lives. Whatever. Rochette? Yeah. Rochette OP. It's kind of like when Pokemon started doing fighting and dragging and fairy as types. Like, sure, dragon is totally an element. Yeah. And then with dragon, only another dragon is good against it, or ice. Which, actually, that's not correct anymore. We just got 2 extra lives back to back. Let's fucking go. Because dragons went unchecked to some extent. There's another one. Oh, this game's just fucking handing them out like candy now. Dragons, to some extent, because they would usually be like the pseudo-legendaries of the game, would go unchecked, because they only had so many weaknesses. But then they tossed in fairy to help balance that out, I guess. I'm convinced that's the only reason they did it. Because not only did fairy, you know, become a type for new Pokemon, but Pokemon like Clefairy would become normal and fairy type ever since introducing the 18th typing. I think that's accurate. Fuck. I did it on one, I fucked it up on the other. If you fuck that up, that's a lot of fucking contact damage you take. Oh, fuck. We don't have Mush Marine. Fuck. That's gonna make this part harder. Whoops. Yeah, because I usually do Shadow Man stage, like, well before this. That's where you get Rush Marine, I think. Well, this is gonna suck. I really didn't need that. I shouldn't have bothered, but whatever. It's fine. We'll pull it off. Rush Marine has, like, 2 total usages in the game. So while it's cool to have it as a thing, it isn't good for much. Fuck. Oh my god. Everything's fine. Oh god. Oh god. Nailed it. Who needs Rush Marine anyway? That is one of 2 parts that it's useful for. That one is not required, though. The second part where Rush Marine is useful, I think it's just flat out required. But that's towards the Mega Padding start of, the Mega Padding part of the game. So, you'll obviously already have it at that point. Fuck. I can't hit him with it, but... What the fuck? That lag is real. So Snake is good on Gemini. Which, you know, Gemini is another boss that's, like, absolutely horrendous to fight if you don't have their weakness. Because they split into two, and you get super fucked. I'm going to put the same for the above as Gemini Man, because I feel that's still the case. Gemini Man. Alright, did I mark down every stage so far? I don't know if I did. Snake, top, hard. Needle, magnet, Gemini. I missed one. Spark. I didn't put Spark. But I have the same impressions on Spark. Okay. Shadow Man. Only one left. The absolute worst, period. In 1 through 6 to try to fight without their weakness. It's absolutely bad. If you put Dragon and Fairy together, you can make the argument that they're two ancient magical forces, so they can type each other out. I don't know if there is a Dragon Fairy type. I don't think that's a thing. Like, I see what you're saying, but I don't think that's an actual thing in the game. Snake vs. Gemini have something to do with Constellation? You know, I never thought about it like that. I never thought about it like that. I suppose when you do, then it makes sense. Not that I know a ton about the subject to begin with, but... So, I would say this stage makes no sense. And honestly, I would say it doesn't. But, like, what are you gonna... For one, what are you actually going to do with Shadow? And two, you know, they turn out the lights. So I guess that's, you know, about the only thing that makes sense about this stage, actually. Because everything else is just kind of pretty random. I also, while I do like this track, it's certainly not one of the better ones. So I think this is going to be mid-stage, mid-music. I think that's my view on these. Fuck. So, Top Man is good for Shadow. Top Man is good on Shadow. You're going to see very quickly what I was saying before, and why it's, like, actually a terrible weapon. Actually, I'm going to take a free death first. What makes him so difficult, you see, he just jumps around sporadically, and then he'll just randomly slide at you. But there's no, like, rhyme or reason to when he's going to do that. So it makes him extremely difficult to fight without his weakness. And even with his weakness, here's why Top Man sucks. Again, you got to be in their face to do damage. But the other thing, too, I know better. But if you hold the button too long, it uses more weapon energy than it should. And the damage is inconsistent. So if you do it wrong, you'll just run out of weapon energy and you won't be able to kill him. Which is really bad. Like, it's the dash attack in Smash Brothers, but that's the best thing about it. It's actually a terrible weapon within the game. Tops are gadgets, which feels weird to be strong against a ninja, unknown gadget masters. Yep. True. Alright, so this is where we get to for lack of better words, and you're not going to know better one way or the other. It technically doesn't matter. Just feel free to pick one. But this is where we get to the mega padding. Because 3 started this trend. But after you beat the Robot Masters, you get these stages, right? And then you get the Wily stages after. And I'll get more into it, but every game since this one is basically some gimmick or a fake out. Like, hey, this is the bad guy of this game. So you go through their castle, and then you actually just go to the Wily stages afterwards. So ever since this point, you just have an abundance of stages towards the end of the game after beating the Robot Masters. And some games do it better than others, but the games became longer by default at this point. This game, however, yeah, that's kind of exactly what's up. So I would use this as a plus point, you know, and I'm just gonna go with it because it technically doesn't matter. I use this as a plus point for 3, but thinking about it now, is it really a plus point? Because on one hand, you get 2 games in one. Because each of these 4 stages, which are just stages you played before, revisited, the stages are remixed, they're harder, whatever. Whatever we want to call it. Right? But the thing with these stages, I'm like losing my train of thought as I'm trying to do this. The thing with these stages is you fight 2 bosses per stage. And they're bosses from Mega Man 2. So I used to spin this as, you know, well, you get 2 games in one. If you like Mega Man 2, you get to fight all those bosses in this game, plus what I feel are the better Robot Masters in this game. However, before you even get to think about the boss, you of course have to do the stage. And each and every one of these stages, to some extent, are kind of annoying. But it also kind of gets worse, because if you fuck up the first boss, like as in you don't do the stage plus the boss, you have to start from the beginning of the whole stage. Which is not great. You also, for each Mega Man 2 boss, have to find out what their Mega Man 3 boss weakness is. So there's that as well. Which I don't know if I remember all of these, to be honest. Like, you're gonna have it because you have every weapon in the game up to this point. It's Spark, okay. What the? Why am I warping towards the back of the screen there? What the fuck was that shit? Anyway, he's dead. But yeah, do you fight the bosses? Yes. But they're all the Doc Robot. It just takes the powers of those bosses. So it's like, it's half and half. Like, I don't know, like, looking at it objectively now, I think it's just mostly padding. Like, it's cool to see the... I have no health. I'm just gonna kill myself. Like, cool Mega Man 2 bosses. Not so cool revisiting, like, harder / definitely more annoying versions of the stage. And also completely screwing you on checkpoints for the first half. Like, maybe this was the stage in the Cycle Life where they were like, this works. We can do this and we'll ship it, you know? But again, to its credit, the fact that we got anything at all, and that's halfway decent as it is. I think halfway decent is underselling it, but, like, you get the point, right? Like, the fact that we got something this good from something that was definitely rushed, no pun intended, as I ride Rush, I think it's pretty good. But, could it have been better? 100%. It makes me wonder that if they did have the proper time with this one, that it could very easily be the undeniable best game. But that's not what happened. So therefore, 2 obviously being damn near perfect in people's eyes, that's always in the conversation. And this is the other one, but it has a lot of flaws to it, if we're being real. So then where does that put the other 3 games? That's what we're going to be exploring together, obviously. But that's kind of the deal with this one. So I haven't been using, like, the other weapons, because, you know, it's something I mentioned before, but I haven't done it. Magnet, see, it, like, homes in a little bit. Although, with this guy, it can home in on the needles instead, which is not great. Not very practical use of the fucking thing. I hope Magnet's not the weakness for this, because I forget if it is, and if it's not, it's gonna suck. I don't remember, actually. I think it's hard. Yep. Fuck! Christ. So Spark's good on Airman, and Hard is good on Crashman. Because reasons. But yeah, 4 stages, Doc robots, 2 Mega Man, 2 bosses a pop. It's not great. Also, total noob trap. That if you decide to just kind of walk off either edge, you're just insta-dead. So, you know, that's cute. And if we're talking about themes for stages, they obviously don't, like, redo these stages for the bosses that they have in mind, right? Like, it just, they're literally just harder versions of the same stages that you did before. So, like, they didn't even go as far, like, if they were gonna do this, they didn't, like, they didn't make it match thematically. And since there's 2 bosses per stage, I'm not sure how you can necessarily do that. Unless you make one half of the stage, you know, the theme for one, and then the other half of the stage, the theme for the other. Which, actually, thinking about it now, that would have been fucking amazing. It would make this not feel as much like padding. Also, this section sucks, and trying to do it legitimately without Rush Jet, which we're not going to do because fuck it, is actually really terrible. Because the second you jump on these things, they split apart, so you fall through it, so you got to jump off of it right away. Except the timing is super precise. And taking that chance on, I don't know if you saw, but there's a ton of platforms there. So easy margin for error where you just insta-die. Not so great. Now again, you have Rush Jet, like that's an ability, that's something you can do. So like you don't necessarily have to worry about it. But something worth pointing out, I think. I think Needleman's good on Woodman. Fuck. And much like Woodman, you do the whole, you know, trade hits deal until you beat him. But yeah, cool Mega Man 2 bosses in spirit, but I think it's just padding. I don't know, Josh, what do you think? Fuck. Fuck. Oh, alrighty then. We'll take some deaths because it's whatever. But for the sake of progression, like on some bosses or whatever, it's no secret that I've beaten this game multiple times. Multiple times on stream even, so... We're just trying to do the whole... new look at each of the games deal. So, we don't gotta be perfect by any means, and or embrace more modern features. I use that in huge quotes because, you know, save states existed on emulators since forever. But they tend to be a staple in these, like, collections of games now. God fucking damn it. I think I would have preferred to have these Mega Man 2 remix stages instead of a classic boss rush in the Wily Castle. Yeah. Well, to be clear, this isn't... There still is the Wily Castle after all this. But yeah, they could have did that. Like I was saying, like, thematically, if they wanted to, you know, make this not feel like total fucking padding, make them Mega Man 2 remix stages. Instead of revisiting 4 of the 8 stages, just harder versions of them, and sticking in the Doc Robot that takes powers of the Mega Man 2 bosses. I don't remember this. Snake? Nope. Shadow? Shit! Shit, I fucked up. I think it's Shadow. Boy. Yeah, it's Shadow. Oh no. Oh, what a dick. I have plenty of Shadow, so it's fine. See, if you fuck up on the second boss in the stage, you just start right in front of the boss gate. But if you fuck up the first one, you gotta start the whole stage over. So, Shadow Blade, you can't... Shadow Blade is basically Metal Man's weapon. Except it makes a little cool noise when you use it. But you can't shoot it in all the same directions as Metal Blade, I don't think. It comes back to you. It uses very little weapon energy, sure, but you can't... I really think that just the main thing is you can't spam it like Metal Blade. So, yeah. Oh, make no mistake, the boss rush still happens, by the way. That still happens on top of all this. The guy I was partially inspired by to, like, do this stuff. Jay's reviews. He doesn't like... he's not a fan of the boss rush stuff. I kind of just take it as, like, a normal thing in Mega Man games, but when you consider how many Mega Man games there are, it's like... Why can't we just cut the shit already? So I don't want to use too much of this because I'm going to need it, but the Gemini laser, it shoots forward. If you don't hit your target, good luck, because it's going to stay on screen, and it's going to bounce off stuff for a while before it disappears. So another weapon with not such a great use. So really, Needle Man's a decent weapon to use in stages. Magnet Man is. Shadow is great too. Spark isn't so bad, except I think stuff just flat out gets reflected by it. So effectively, like, half the weapons are good. And that ain't so great. when you consider it's the crux of what a Mega Man is about, not so great. Well, when you say the throwback remix is like the way that we're talking about as opposed to what they did in this game, right? Like, swap. Do that like the proper way in place of the usual boss rushes at the end. Magnet. Magnet on metal. See, like, this one makes sense. Like, I think I guessed this back in the day as a kid. It just makes sense. But yeah, their stage revisits, there's really not much more to it than that. They are literally stage revisits. They're just harder versions of the stage. And in a lot of them, honestly, like, this one's a really good example. It's just, like, insta-death shit put out of nowhere. Easy ways to die. One could argue cheap difficulty. I'm starting to wonder, like, the further and further I go in this, if I'm, like, just totally shitting on my favorite Mega Man game right now, because it almost kind of seems like it. The thing is, though, it's by design, because the game's, like, not complete. It's just a fact. Alright, we're definitely going to take a death here, because... Remember I just described Gemini Man's weapon? Like, if you don't hit with it, good luck, because you have to wait for it to bounce around on screen and all that shit. Well, who happens to be the boss weak to Gemini Man? Fucking Quick Man. Because of course. Oh my god, I'm missing every shot. Good, jump into it. Oh, we got good towards the end. I also don't think you can pause either while it's on screen. So you get fucked that way too. Like, you can't even use an energy can when you need to. I could be wrong. I don't remember if that's entirely accurate or not. What I forgot, and I've mentioned it in other streams where I played this game, is that pretty much every single one of these games, for as much as I like them, has a fuck it section. A section in which I hate and might be like the sole reason I don't decide to visit that particular title. And I think I passed it already. Because usually it's like either the Needle Man or Shadow Man revisits. Because they have annoying stages. We're doing pretty good, so it's fine, I guess. But normally, it's something that will trip me up quite a bit. And, like, there's just no reason for it. Hey, extra life. Fuck yeah. Let's go. RNGesus is being extremely generous. Because we got like 3 in one stage earlier. Am I playing Mega Man 5 or 6? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, this is where you need Rush Marine. This is the second place in the game where it's useful, but it is not optional at this point. You need to use it. So, like, that's something too, right? They introduced Rush, and 2 of the abilities are pretty great. And I'm not saying Rush Marine isn't great, but there's not enough uses, really. There's technically only 1 required spot in the game where you need it. Another extra life. Seriously, I'm really starting to think I'm playing the later Mega Man titles, where they just drop fucking extra lives like candy. And good thing, too, because we have shit for health, so we're just going to take another death here. Who's good on Bubble? I don't remember. Fuck. Fuck. It's not hard. It's not Magnet, it's not Needle. I've already used those. Is it Spark again? I've used Spark, though, on somebody already. It is Spark. The fuck? It's good on 2 of them? That's something else. I think some of these bosses actually have, like, 2 weaknesses. Technically. I mean, whatever, more options. I don't know if that's necessarily minus points, but it's a thing. And actually, yes, some 2 or 3, because I believe in this game specifically, when you do the boss rush, you can use their own weapon against them, and it counts as a weakness. Oh, and of course, before you even get to Wily, after the Dock Robots, you fight quote-unquote Breakman, which is obviously Proto Man. Again, with no context. Like, you've been randomly fighting him all game, and now he just appears as Breakman, and you just fight him, you know, just because. And he's easy as shit, and now, hey, here's plot that makes no sense. Oh no, right after we received the last element, what is that? Wily ran off with Gamma, which they also spelled Wily wrong. Cool. Who's Gamma? What's the last element? None of this makes sense, but that's the plot you get in this game. I almost want to give it a 1, but it's there at all. You know? They're kind of the same excuse as the first game. This, gotta read the manual for the plot. Absolutely! You're not gonna know shit otherwise. Like, that literally got lost in translation here. It didn't happen. It's completely lost. Completely absent. So, Wily stages. Stuff we can actually critique again. This theme is whatever. I could take it or leave it. It's not one of the strong points of the game. Which I don't know. I'm starting to think I don't really like a lot of Wily stages, to be honest. Like, you don't really have a theme to base them on, per se. You fuck. Okay. Let's just make this easy, shall we? I think this is the only game that let you have complete and utter control over Rush Jet. I think in the games past this, yes, you have control over Rush Jet, but they force you forward. Whereas in this game, you have control, complete control. So you only go forward with Rush when you want to go forward. Or in any other given direction, for that matter. What? Oh. Iframes. You can use iframes on spikes, unlike Mega Man 1. Because, you know, if that wasn't a thing, I would have died right there. I mean, this is, of course, ignoring the fact that spikes kill a robot. Like, you are made of metal. How does that kill you? Disappearing blocks, but not so bad. Because it's sharp metal, so it dents your nice polymetal exoskin. It's dumb as fuck. This boss is kind of dumb. Like, I don't see the point of what it is. It's a robot that just randomly drops down turtles. And there's these wind things to fuck with you to make it a little harder, except it's still pretty easy. And then when you kill enough of the turtles, the robot just dies out of nowhere. Sure. And that's a Wily stage. Yeah, I'm starting to think at this point that the Wily stages are more annoying than they are fun. And in a way that's fitting, because, like, it should be challenging, you know? It's the end of the game. Makes sense. So, I guess I can't really knock points for that. Fuck. Some are obviously going to be better than others, but, like, I can't really knock it for that, I don't think. Fuck. Ow. I don't like it. Oh, on top of the DI, you can notice Mega Man is ever so closer to Rush at that point, so you can actually, like, squeeze him in and fuck with the hitbox a little bit. Like, you wouldn't think he fits here, but he does. He, like, squints down and runs into the Rush sprite to fit. Now, I don't know why that works, but it does. Alright, Yellow Devil Part 2. This one isn't as bad. And you obviously can't pause trick this one either. which sucks, but at least it's easier. And if you're quick enough, you can get multiple hits on it. Of course, that wasn't me there. We're gonna can. That's the name. I couldn't remember the name last stream. The Yellow Devil. That's what this fucking guy is. If you're, like, super quick, you can get 3 hits, I think. Like that. This theme I like a lot better, and I think it's fitting. Like, this theme to me gives a good vibe of you're approaching the end and there's some shit coming. And nothing against Wily Stage 1 and Mega Man 2, because the theme is great. I just don't know that it necessarily captures that vibe. Like, I don't know, when I heard this track, I thought it was great. Like, I would keep this on, like, repeat. And you get the Shadow Man mechanics revisit. Which, you know, again, pretty fitting for what you're doing in the game. Or where you're at in the game. The stage ain't half bad either. You got a bunch of annoying ass shit, you know, being these guys. Stage is different enough. This is like the Bucky O'Hare section of Yellow Planet. Stage is pretty short, though. So there's that. And in fact, that's something else, because the Wily stages, they don't last. Like, they're relatively short. You spend more time on the silly padding dock robot stages. I was never really a fan of this boss because you just pray to RNGesus that you're hitting the right clone. Like, there's no way to actually know which one you need to hit. You just take a guess. So it's not the fucking Boo Beam from 2, but I would say that this is also not great boss design. Fuck, it's the top one. I even knew that because I technically did this already. Wait a minute. It changed again! Even though I rewound, it changed. Again. The fuck? It can do that? Oh, that's fucked up. Oh, I almost killed it. I don't want to use an energy can on this guy. Like, it's not that bad. But I also came in with not full health, I think. You know what? I have fucking 8. Let me not stop being a stingy bitch. Unless we just kill him, you know. Then in that case, it doesn't matter. You know, outside of some annoying stages, this game's also pretty easy, if I'm being real. Because you do get your maximum energy cans go from 4 to 9, which is the case since 2. But it makes it easy. Because, like, if you fuck up, you can just, you know, oh, pop an energy can. No big deal. Even though these stages are short, I do like these latter two Wily stages. I like the music. I like the stages. We got an energy can in that. Okay, RNGesus is really being truly fucking generous. Well, here we go. Boss rush. Because, you know, another Mega Man game. So we gotta have it. Yep, I was right about that. So, same weapon as the boss. Good on the boss. Dirt. Pikachu. Pikachu. Get sparked. Hey, you. Do padding. Do padding. Get fisted, hard man. Huh. God, shit, I need hard man, actually. I shouldn't have used all the weapon energy. Whoops! I should have just fought him normally. Hi, Priscilla. Fuck. Got distracted by Kitty. Can't see. Cat percent. Fuck. I forgot what's good on the first part of Wily. It's top for the second, which is actually terrible, but I forgot what's good for the first part. I don't remember. I feel like I need Hard Knuckle for something. I don't remember. See, like, this team's good too. This really makes you feel like you're going into some shit. Okay, this is where I actually use Hard Man. Okay, got it. Miss! Because it's not on screen yet. Wait. Wait a second. No, hold on. I'm wrong. Okay, now is where you use Hardman, except... Hardman is technically the weakness for this, but honestly, if you just use Rush Jet and fly in his face, I feel like it's easier. Because Hardman, you gotta rely on this DI shit. And the closer he gets to you, the less of a chance you're gonna have to be able to hit him. But it didn't matter, we fucked him up anyway. Oh my god, it wasn't the actual Dr. Wowie! So here's the Weird Wally. So a tad bit of extra padding at the end. But the stages aren't very long, so it kind of is what it is. But I would still take a ton of these over... I don't need this shit. What am I even doing? I would still take a ton of these over the Doc Robots, I think. Gotta keep making the game bigger and better. Yeah. Yeah. Shadow and Top are needed for the end. So here's Gamma, which is a highly underwhelming final boss. Actually. Because first part is that, second part is this, which you have to use Top, which is... Okay, I didn't even get to hit him, alright. Because I took a hit there. There. Use an energy can just because. So actually, all the times I played this game, I've always had to use Top Man's weapon twice to kill him. And I still have to now. But the damage I did almost killed him. Like, he only has 2 bars left. I've never done that. Which is just proof that the damage of Top Spin is inconsistent. It's not a great weapon. This is what's his face for Mega Man 6, your driver buddy. Otto. Yeah. Mega Man, you've regained consciousness. I found you lying here when I arrived. I wonder who brought you here. Could it be Break/Proto Man? This whistle. It must have been Proto Man. I actually said whistle. Oh, man. That's it. That is your plot. Barely, if at all, explained. And that's Mega Man 3. So again, during the credits, let's do this thing. And of course, you get the countdown from the OG Robot Masters for some reason. Brakeman, famous race car driver robot. You know, it's funny you mentioned Mega Man 7, because that's where the actual Robot Master for that exists. It's called Turbo Man. It's turbo time. So, Wily, stages. Beginning half. Okay. The second half. Great, along with theme. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so now we got the countdown of the regular ones, the ones in this game. Okay, so we gotta slap a number on this bad boy, don't we? We gotta slap a number on this. Music, it's getting a 5. Because even the not so great tracks, even the not as good tracks are still good. I can't say that about 2, but I'm not going to knock it based off the one track. So they both get 5s in that regard. Like, that's fine. They can have that. Weapons. It's not great. And controls is like a giveaway category. It's a little difficult, to be honest. Weapons. Weapons is about like half and half. You know, some are good, some are not. That's probably a 3 based on that, right? Fun factor. This is the one that, that's a little difficult now. Because this is the one that's a little difficult now because, again, like going back now, seeing those particular sections, like the padding, I'm not so sure. I'm going to give it a 3. And what's interesting about this, and this wasn't really, like, intentional, but I think the math checks out the same. Where I think it's still 20 out of 25. Because music's 5. Fun factor 3. Weapons 3. Controls 5. Plot 2. So 2 has the better plot, but and it's at wait. Maybe I did my math wrong. Hold on a second. Hold on. 8, 11, 16. Wait a minute. No, my math is off. And judging by what we're doing here, so 8, 11, 16, 18. So, just based off what we're looking at here, the gameplay segment of this is over. And it's not quite 1, but I don't think we're doing Mega Man 4 tonight. But, so just to take a look, right? Based on what we're doing here, I actually rated Mega Man 3, my favorite, under 2 overall when judging it on these points or this criteria. I actually put 2 above it. And, you know, objectively speaking, I think that's right. 3 might be my favorite, but 2 is just overall more polished. But, you know, to only be 2 points behind when it's technically an incomplete game, I don't think that's bad. I don't consider it a bad game by any means. It might still be my favorite by the time all this is said and done. But objectively speaking, which one is going to come out on top? We'll have to wait and see. So thus far, we have Mega Man 1 with a 13 out of 25, Mega Man 2 with a 20 out of 25, and Mega Man 3 with an 18 out of 25. Close, but not quite. Feels bad to do it to you, Mega Man 3, but gotta be real. Coming back now, it is what it is. So, on that note, I think we are good here. Because outside of time, my headache does seem to be sneaking back, unfortunately. So I'm gonna take it easy. But yeah, and I mean, it's just it sucks, but I gotta be real, you know. It it's incomplete, and what's wild actually, and it may exist, and I just don't know better. But there have been passion projects, fan projects. Um, there's a fan project that improved X5. I think there's another fan project that improved X6. Another one that also improved X7. And of course, improved only means so much. Like, you can't completely change the game. Like, you still have to work with the assets that are within the game. But they make fixes to them. So, like, there's projects for each of these things. And then with X8, there's actually a Mega Man X D-make done in the style of Mega Man X. And that one's actually kind of a unique project of sorts because it does take some creative liberties. Like, it uses some parts of what's in the game, but it does take some creative liberties as well. It's not complete yet, but what's there is, like, pretty neat so far. And then, of course, there's that, like, Mega Man X Corrupted game that's been talked about for forever, except I don't think it's complete and or out yet. So that's another thing. So, like, if I ever want to do something with Mega Man and, like, actually have it be new, because most of the time when I do Mega Man stuff on here, it's not really that. The last time that was that would be Extra Life for Battle Network because I didn't play those. But yeah, you know, maybe that's a thing at some point, or revisits to the Mega Man games of the Game Boy, because I gotta tell you that I haven't played any of those games since I moved through New York. So we're talking 2+ decades ago. I don't remember shit about these games. And because they're, you know, lesser versions of their NES counterparts, with the exception of 5, Mega Man's kind of sluggish, control-wise. Like, a little more sluggish than Mega Man 1. It's kind of yikes. And pretty difficult. So maybe that's something we do at some point. I don't know. Otherwise, complete side note, I still have 2 weeks to get Shadow of the Erdtree for the PC, if I even do it on there. But, or I'm going to double dip. I mean, I've been saying this, but, I know there's some sales, even if ever so slight, for like maybe $35 instead of 40. Um, I can save myself half the cost if I use a certain card I have because I have $20 in rewards. So I will pay either 15 or 20 if I can find like a sale, like on GMG or whatever that has it for like 35 or some shit, 35 and change. But uh but yeah, that'll happen before it comes out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We will do for the next time. Um, Depending on when I stream in the day, maybe it'll be 4 and 5, or just 4 and then 5 and 6 on a fourth stream. This isn't what I intended, but like I wasn't like necessarily planning to stream today either, so I was just like, fuck it, it just seems like the right thing to do. Um, or maybe we spread them out even further because again, like the games are longer at this point, and we're doing this different view, and depending on picks that are made, it gives us longer to examine the game. So maybe we do stretch it out because we do still have, as I said, 2 weeks before Shadow of the Erd Tree. So thank you all for coming, and I will see you guys on the next one where we get to really decide, even though people felt franchise franchise fatigue. I can talk, I swear. Franchise fatigue starting with Mega Man 4. Taking that objective look at them, are they actually just better games in some aspects? Are they possibly better than the ones before it? We'll see. Until then, take care. Have a good one. Later.